Darren Stevens' fantastic efforts with both bat and ball were not enough to seal victory for Kent, as they were held to a tie in a sensational contest against Glamorgan in Cardiff. Kent won the toss and decided to field first, and this looked a good decision when Stevens had Jack Rudolph caught at long on in the first over with the score on 2. Captain Jim Allenby was joined by Mark Wallace, and the pair then took the home side to 60 for 1 at the end of the power play. Both were striking the ball nicely, with Wallace hitting the first maximum of the game. Allenby was soon clearing the ropes too. He took a liking to James Treadwell and deposited the England spinner over the mid-wicket boundary to keep Glamorgan going along nicely at over 10 runs and over. The Welshmen lost Wallace in the 8th over before Murray Goodwin followed him back to the pavilion after trying to take on Stevens, only to find Daniel Bell-Drummond, who took a magnificent catch in the deep at the end of the 9th over. Allenby went to his 50 in the 11th over before he also fell to Stevens, trying to push on and miss hitting the ball to Adam Ball in the deep. He'd made 54 from 37 balls. Glamorgan were in need of some runs, and it was Chris Cook who took on the mantle from Allenby. He took on Mitch Claydon in the 15th over, and with a quarter left of their innings, Glamorgan had got to 133 for 4. Ben Wright fell to Treadwell in the 16th over, but that brought West Indian big hitter Darren Sammy to the crease, and he took Treadwell on and won, hitting the England spinner over long on for a maximum. Treadwell followed that up with a wicket of Cook before Graham Wagg was cleaned up by Doug Bollinger in the penultimate over. Sammy hit 2 fours in the last over to leave Kent needing an imposing 178 runs to win. The opening pair of Rob Key and Bell-Drummond had been going along well this season, and when Bell-Drummond hit the first ball of the innings for 4 off Allenby, it looked rather ominous for Glamorgan. The openers have adopted a simple technique of standing still and hitting anything slightly loose, and by the time the 3rd over had ended, the pair had reached 34 for no wicket. Sammy was brought on in the 4th over and the game took a huge turn. The West Indian first had Bell-Drummond caught by Wagg after miscuing a drive, and he followed that up 3 balls later with the wicket of Key, who tried to employ a shot that has been so successful in recent innings, but this time it could only find Andrew Salter at short fine leg. By the end of the 5th over, the Spitfires were falling a bit behind the rate, but Alex Blake decided to take on Sammy and managed to deposit him over the boundary rope for 6. Sammy picked up his 2nd wicket, that of Sam Northeast, but together with Stevens, the pair took Glamorgan to 76 before Dean Koska picked up the big wicket of Blake at the end of the 10th over to leave Glamorgan a daunting task of 102 runs off 60 balls with 6 wickets remaining. It looked like Glamorgan had the game in the bag, but Stevens decided that the only way to deal with the situation was to hit 6s, and hit 6s he did. He took on the Glamorgan bowlers with a quite brilliant display of clean hitting. He went past his 50 in just 29 balls, which included 1 4 and 5 6s. It was starting to get a bit tense, and the home side needed to tip the balance back their way. That came in the form of Salter in the 18th over. The spinner had Stevens caught out in the deep, with the score on 149 for 5. Stevens had smashed 71 runs off 39 balls, including 6 6s. Sam Billings, who shared in a 73-run partnership with Stevens, smashed 6 fours off Salter before departing in the penultimate over as Kent appeared certain to hone in on victory. Ball hit Wagg for a 6, then a single to end the 19th over, with Kent needing 3 runs from 6 balls to win. Michael Hogan then bowled what will be remembered as one of the best final overs in T20 history. His first ball was a dot, his second picked up the wicket of Ball, who'd hit 10 off 6, before his third cleaned up Claydon for a golden duck. Doug Bollinger got a run off the 4th ball and Treadwell picked up a single off the 5th, which meant the scores were level with 1 ball to go. All Kent needed was a single. Bollinger swung and missed. Treadwell ran, but Wallace reacted quicker than Bollinger to throw the ball to Rudolph, who managed to whip the bails off to stop Kent from winning and securing a tie. What a finish to a fantastic game. So the tie means both teams got a point to leave Glamorgan 4th in the South Division table, 1 point and 1 place above Kent in 5th. Next up for Glamorgan is Surrey, and for Kent it's an away trip to Sussex, both games being played next Friday.